I was saying, let us look at all cases of gender-based violence where women were killed and see if all those guys have fathers present. You'll realize that majority of them don't have their fathers present. So they tried to figure things out and things did not get figured out. And they lost hope along the way. At some point I said, as a country, we need therapy. Currently in Botswana, Ukotrongo, he's in jail. The boy child, it's MVA says 77% of those who die in car accidents are men or engaged in car accidents are men. He's the one who perpetuates gender-based violence. He's the one who's unemployed. He's the one who's at Sabarana. God is always happy because he's masking these other four emotions. He doesn't want to show sadness. He doesn't want to show anxiety. He doesn't want to show anger. Now and then he becomes angry. He doesn't want to show fear because the society does not allow him. Had you got it? And the little boy inside is crying.
Men want to talk about the emotions.
Who taught them how to open up and talk about the emotions? Because where they grow, the environment says, homo is a sadimo.
How do we navigate having a conversation with a child about why their father is not in their life?
The views shared here are personal and don't reflect the sponsors or advertisers. This is for entertainment only, not meant to offend or harm. If you're easily offended, this isn't for you. Listen with an open mind. Now, let's get into it.
What's up, Unscripted family? I hope that you are doing well. Welcome to it, folks. We are back again, and thank you so much for joining us here. Do subscribe because we need to grow our community, and we have some exciting news. We have now ventured as well into the podcast digital streaming platforms, so we are available on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Please look up Life Unscripted with Lezozo, and you can find our recent episodes there. We're gonna try as much as possible to be consistent, just so we could also grow that community that is on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and we'll keep going further into it as well. We are also on Power Radio. It is a Botswana platform, which is also centered around radio. That's music, conversations, shows. So please also look out for Power Radio. That's where you can also find us every Tuesday from 7 p.m. So we are here again, and we unpack very meaningful conversations, important ones for that matter. My name is Kedi Mulusiwa. You might know me as Kedi, aka Lezoti, aka Lezozo. And our guest today, we are talking about men, boys. Rona baside, I can really like these things. So just gotta have a conversation about the psychology of men, the psychology of boys, and the boy child, because I always feel like we leave the boy child behind. We don't really talk about the struggles of being a man in this day and age and this society that we are in the 21st century, in the social media era, in the VIP sections, all of that. So to unpack further about this is our guest. His name is Dr. Jongman, and he is an entrepreneur. He's also a counselor, he's an author, he's a life coach, and a lecturer in social work with a focus on policy and youth. So that is our guest. I have interviewed him before when I was still on radio. I think it was once. We had a brief conversation. But I know it was matters of psychology.
Yes, it was around mental health.
It was around mental health. Yes. Mental health. Dr. Jongman, thank you for joining us on Life Unscripted. I hope that you're doing well, sir.
Thank you very much. I like things that are unscripted.
Yes.
I don't like the script.
Same here. Definitely. This space is just we're just having a conversation. Yeah. So I thought you'd be the right person to pick your brain, to get your insights, to get your thoughts about the boy child and men and the struggles that you face as a boy child. I have 2 younger brothers, so this is quite important to me because I want to understand how to be a better sister for my brothers. So a little backstory. Growing up, I've raised these boys. The other boy that comes right after me, I'm a firstborn child. So the one that comes right after me, him and I are like 5 years apart, and he's my bestie. He was my bestie growing up. He still is now. Just that, I mean, our relationship has somewhat shifted now that
It has evolved.
Yes,
it has not shifted. It has
it's evolved. It's
Yes.
grown.
Yeah.
Yes. So now he's obviously in his early mid-20s. I'm approaching 30 now. And then came another brother who came when I was 15. So I consider that one my baby because that's my baby. So I call him my baby. But now he's a teenager. He's 14 and he's not the same anymore like he was when he was the toddler.
Yeah.
He used to be fun. He used to love me. He used to be so obsessed with me. He was my baby. Now he has a deep voice. He's not my baby anymore. He tells me, "Hore, you're not cool. You're annoying me." But he's still playful. We still play. We still tease each other. But when I sit back and I look at these boys, I'm just like, my boys though, like, what happened? So I want to know what happens to a boy when he transitions from a boy to a teenager, just that adolescent stage. Because even with the one that comes after me, he was the funny guy, fun guy, always laughing with me, running around the house, chasing each other. And then as soon as he became a teenager, it changed.
They pick something called masculinity.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they pick that. You see, with boys and men, there's something called masculinity. And it depends on how it is taught. And teaching masculinity does not mean you sit with them, you tell them what is masculinity. Majority of the time, when it comes to masculinity, it is learned through observation. They start observing what the society expects them to be. So you being too close to you is too feminine. So now they want to be closer to people who are like them. So they're becoming masculine. And, masculinity, you have toxic masculinity, you have positive masculinity, depending on how you socialize them to be. Your positive masculinity will be teaching them that as a man, you take responsibility, but you are still a human being. You still have emotions that you need to express. The way you express your emotions might be different from how your sister expresses their emotions, but you still express your emotions. So that is what we teach young boys, that you are still a human being. You'll still have the opportunity to express your emotions, but you need to know how you express your emotions. So they have picked that. And now they are looking at how do we do this? How do we do that? How do we do that? And this is why I know with us Botswana, we get angry when this issue is said. This is why the participation of the father is very important. Because the mother will have an idea of what a man is, but she's not a man. A man can only be a man who can transmit what is within him into this boy. You can talk about it, but you cannot exhibit it as a woman. So it is important for both parents to be there to raise these kids. So I have 2 boys, and you can see when they relate with both of us, they know where to go when this happens, and they know where to go when they want to cry.
So they don't come to you when they want to cry?
No.
Because why? What do you say to them?
Because they will be, you see, for me it's very clear. You want something? No, you're not going to have it. So yesterday, the older one wanted to eat something in the morning before he ate his motor, and I said, no. No, you're not going to be doing that. Because you are also teaching them that you don't get what you want every time. Because when you spoil them with everything that they want, the world is not going to give them that. And they're going to break down. So you also teach them that sometimes you get, sometimes you don't get. When they want a banana, you're not going to give them the banana because it is there. You have to also teach them to restrain. They need to learn how to restrain themselves. They don't get things because things are there. When things are not there, you're not going to be controlling them. This is why when they go to the shops with Bo Junior, they cannot control Bo Junior. Bo Junior are too much to handle, because every time when Junior wants something, he's given. So you also need to teach them restraint. So that is what masculinity is all about. You teach them to do things right.
So the best person to teach about masculinity has to be a man.
Yes, because he's masculine. And you know, the one thing about children is that they teach you who you are. Because you see yourself.
Reflection.
In them.
The mirror.
Yeah, and the children have, they're humbling. Because they teach you that they're different. And in the uniqueness of them, when they are 2 or 3, the uniqueness, you can see yourself in all of them differently. And you learn, this is exactly me. He doesn't understand, but this is me. And you also sit and say, okay, but in that meeting, I reacted this way. And this boy reacted this way. So he teaches me to also restrain myself.
Wow.
Also to learn myself more. This is why the self-discovery journey, it's a lifelong journey. You always see something new about you, and you sit and say, do I integrate this into my life, or do I live it? So we always learn. We learn when we see these kids. They help us to become better human beings, and we help them to become the best versions of themselves. So that is how we need to be dealing with these boys, and start dealing with them from 2 years. We like to leave things hanging, thinking that they don't understand. They do. You see, they will mimic you. Whatever you do, they will mimic you. And when you are always on your phone, when you get home, they will take remote and then show you that they're on your that they're in the phone. That is a reflection to say, dude, you need to cut on your phone. When you are getting home and you watch football, when you get home, they will put in football. So they are showing you your routine. So we learn also from them.
Hi, family. I know we're all enjoying this episode, but I just wanted to stop by and say a big shout out to our Glotto team, because they are our sponsors where we get to shoot our podcast here. And by the way, they've switched their shops, so you can find them in Block 3. So look them up, look for Glotto, and get a taste and magic in terms of their wardrobe, which is also unisex, by the way. So definitely get in touch with Glotto. We're going to leave all the details on the screen. Follow them online and be a part of the Glotto Gate family. We can't wait to see you dripped out in Glotto. How do you deal with guilt? Because a lot of the reasons why you would say yes to a child and their demands is because you feel something, I feel bad if I don't agree to this. And I'm saying that because I find myself in that situation where the youngest boy would be asking for me to get him something on my way home. I mean, he behaves like a last born typically. So he would say, hey, can you please bring me a crusher? Can you please bring me a whatever, a Bawan crusher or whatever, an Oreo crusher, I mean, yeah, or something, I don't know. And then I would say, nah, I don't have money, dog. Nah, I'm not doing that. Happy he's lactose intolerant. So my whole thing is, dude, this thing is going to make you react badly or something. So why do you want to do that to yourself? But then after the no, the call is done. And then I just start feeling bad. So
and he will manipulate you.
So I'm wondering, how do you deal with that guilt of I've said no, but now I feel bad. Maybe I was too quick to say no. Maybe let me try and look for that 50 pula for that burger that he wants or the PlayStation that he's asked for.
Just go home and see that whether you'll die. just go home and see whether you'll die. You see, one day this guy was asking for 2,000. And I said, I don't have the 2,000. Well, we went to, from there we went to an agency, and then I paid for a ticket to the UK for 10,000. And then he said, but I was only looking for 2,000. And you are paying 10K for this. And I said to him, here's the thing. I planned for this trip since the beginning of the year. And if I give you the 2K and you are going to give it to me a week later, the ticket now will be 15K. And you are going to give back 2K. So I'm going to be short with 5K. Where am I going to get the money?
Yeah.
So, and I don't even feel guilt about it because I planned for it. If you don't have money, you don't have to do something that will put you in danger. I'm using danger for a lack of a better word. Don't do things because you want to make somebody happy. Do things because the means, firstly, are allowing you. And then the principle. That is the most important. The principle. Why do you have to eat the crusher just out of the blue? The principle is very important. You need to understand the budgeting. You need to understand how things work. So we're not randomly doing something. So principle is very important. And also the conviction that is the right thing to do.
Yeah, just reminding yourself that this is the right thing to do. I don't have the money now and I mean it.
Yeah. And they learn. Because you see, the one thing about children are manipulative. Oh, no.
They're manipulative.
Yeah.
Do you think they know they're manipulative?
No, yes, they know.
They do.
They do. That's why when they cry with the mother, when they come to you, you say, why are you crying? They keep quiet. They manipulate the mother because they know mothers are emotionally attached to them. Fathers are mentally or logically attached to them. So they will manipulate. So don't let yourself to be manipulated by your children. Be principled, teach them principle because they need to know the world does not revolve around them. You see, you are the prince, you are the king, but the world doesn't know that. And it keeps on going. So we need to teach them to know things don't just come nje. Yeah. You
need to work for it.
You work for everything.
Yeah.
You work for everything. Yeah. So that is how you deal with these boys.
It's so tough. And what about the single parent households? Because that's the reality that we're faced with in Botswana. That majority of our households are led by women and they give birth to boys. Their fathers probably do not want to be involved, or if they are involved, it's on their terms. How do we navigate this territory? Because it is difficult for a woman who doesn't understand. And now let's take it further. She also doesn't have a dad. So she just doesn't know what's going on. She's also winging it as much as everybody around her probably is. And let's say at Gaborone at home, it's also similar situation. Single parent household, mom is there, and then we've got how many siblings? I don't know.
It's tough. It's tough. I was saying, let us look at all cases of gender-based violence where women were killed and see if all those guys have fathers present. you'll realize that majority of them don't have their fathers present. So they tried to figure things out and things did not get figured out. And they lost hope along the way. They became angry. So you realize that the gender-based violence in Botswana is not an issue to do with the women. It's issue to do with the crisis in masculinity. So that is where we are. It's big. This is not a small issue. It's big. Because there is no role modeling. There is no one who's showing anybody what is done, how things should be done. So we have that crisis. The only thing that we can say is to appeal to men to be present. Because, like I was saying at the beginning, women can do this much. But the rest of it has to be done by the fathers. And not being with the mother does not mean you cannot take active participation in the life of your child. You can still participate. You can still be there. Because uncles are also not there. Because they're also dealing with some other issues themselves. So it becomes a problem. So we have that challenge that needs us to, we cannot legislate it. That is the biggest challenge. We cannot legislate it. We can only force people to pay maintenance, but we cannot force them to be there. That is the biggest challenge that we have. But I still believe there is somewhere where we went wrong as a country, where we've left everything to chance, where we don't teach anybody anything, and we are not afraid of anything. We're not afraid of anything. So everything, go ga maperekonyana ga gona ope yo controlang sepe mongwe le mongwe o dira ka ha batang ka teng. I think that is the problem that we have. Or we've left everything to deteriorate to a point where now the family is disintegrated, where the uncles are not there, but the Rangwanis are not there, the aunts are not there. Everybody is figuring out how things should be done. So we need to go back to the drawing boards. And I don't know who's going to go back to the drawing boards.
Yes, whose responsibility is it to do that?
Yeah. When I was supervising students for attachment, the one thing that I picked from the 55 students that I supervised, the theme was the same. Parenting. The theme was the same, parenting. They were all over. It was all Gaborone, Katling. The theme was parenting. Parents are struggling with raising these kids. Parents are struggling with raising themselves. So there is that disconnection.
Kids also are dealing with their traumas caused by their parents.
Their parents caused the trauma, not knowing that they were causing the trauma because they were traumatized themselves. So there is a lot.
Cycle.
That's why at some point I said, as a country, we need therapy. We need to stop. I thought with COVID, we had the opportunity to stop and reflect. And I thought we were going to come out of COVID better human beings. A lot of things would have changed, but I got shocked that children were getting pregnant while they were at home. You ask yourself, who was impregnating these kids? There was a lot of violence. There was a lot of violence because for the first time, people were with their partners. And they were shocked that they have partners.
And they are locked down in the house with their partners.
They're not used to having their partners
around, yeah.
So we need to go back to the drawing boards. I don't know how, but somehow we need to start talking about issues of parenting, issues of responsibility, issues of raising kids in a way that will develop them to become better human beings. I think even though I'm saying we cannot legislate, we can still legislate because in the Nordic countries, they have a policy called from birth to death. where they use what we call life course model, where you manage the transitions. If you can manage the transition, because now we are failing to manage transitions in Botswana. So if we can have from birth to death, that particular policy that manages everything is managed. That is when we can know when to educate, how to educate, because more Botswana educated people will always shock you, because we do education to get employed. We don't do education to get educated
and to empower ourselves.
That is not part of everything. We do it to get a certificate and get a job. This is why you can have people who are supposed to come up with solutions looking for solutions. So if we can have something like that, maybe we can, that is where we can start, where now we are saying, how do we start with pregnant women? How do we teach them parenting when they are still pregnant? How do we teach children at school from upper primary school what is parenting, going to secondary school, going to tertiary, teaching them how to become better human beings? Because maybe this is why we are the most angry nation in the world. Unhappy.
We're very unhappy.
Because we don't know what we are doing. We are always figuring something out. So we need to go back to the drawing boards. And someone has to take responsibility to go back to the drawing boards. And
do we say maybe it's our government to try and do that for us?
I don't like to say government, because when you try to help going back to the drawing boards, help with parenting, you don't get support. You know, someone who is doing a festival will get support. But if, for instance, I do trainings on character, we never get support.
Do you know the why?
Because it's difficult. It's something that people don't want to. We want things that we are not we will not account. Where you are saying, let us account, let us sit and talk about these things. We don't want such things. We want and then we go with life. So we, as a country, before we go even into government, we need to know that this is the only country that we have. If we are not going to help build this country, no one will come from outside to help us build this country. So when you do issues of mental health, when you do issues of psychology, psychosocial issues, you don't attract a lot of people. If I tell you, I run a podcast. I'm a podcaster. That is one thing that you forgot to mention.
And you're a podcaster, yes. What's the name of your podcast?
A chat with Dr. Jo.
Yes.
So the best that we can get is 200 people who view our podcast. And we've been running this for 2 years. We don't want to give up. And one guy said to me, you see, your podcast is too serious.
Hey, Rabata fun. We were looking for fun. Yeah.
So I want a podcast where I can put the phone there and listen while I do things and laugh. Yours, I need to sit and internalize what you are saying.
Guys, but that's not completely true, especially with the fact that we have the streaming platforms. I can listen on Apple Podcasts while I'm driving, while I'm washing the dishes, while I'm cooking, and still having the oh wow moments.
Yeah. So you struggle to get people because you are talking serious matters. You struggle to get people because you are talking serious matters. We like to defense mechanism, the coping mechanism, where we are always hyper, but we are dying inside. We don't want to be seen dealing with our demons. We are dying outside. And it affects the boy child. It affects the boy child. The boy child currently in Botswana, Okotrongo.
Yeah.
He's in jail. The boy child, it's MVA says 77% of those who die in car accidents are men, or engaged in car accidents are men. He's the one who perpetuate gender-based violence. He's the one who's unemployed. He's the one who's at Sabarana. So the boy child has all this against him because he has never been taught to become a human being. He doesn't know how to become a human being. And he will rather be excessively happy. And there are 5 emotions. You need to feel all of them. It's anger, it's sadness, it's anxiety, it's fear, it's happiness. You need to feel all of them. If you are always excessively happy, there's something wrong. So the boy child is always happy because he's masking these other 4 emotions. He doesn't want to show sadness. He doesn't want to show anxiety. He doesn't want to show anger. Now and then he becomes angry. He doesn't want to show fear because the society does not allow him to be afraid, to be anxious. Had you got it, man? And the little boy inside is crying. Say, listen to me. I'm afraid. This is the new path that I'm taking. Can you walk with me? But no one is there to listen. So he will rather stimulate himself to be happy. And when he is excessively happy after stimulating, anything becomes a trigger. He becomes angry and he will kill. Because he's not given the opportunity, the outlet to talk about his emotions. Because a man does not discuss his emotions.
Why don't men want to talk about the emotions?
Who taught them how to open up and talk about the emotions? Because where they grow, the environment says, homo is a sadimo. So the environment says, you are stoke. You don't talk.
You're a man.
You're a man.
Man up.
Man up. And you see, we can talk as men using our own language. We don't need to use feminine language.
It's the feminine language for me. What's the difference between the man language and the feminine language when you guys are addressing each other or talking to each other as men, as boys? Do you guys even have those conversations?
And that is another thing. People, men are not homogeneous. This is why
Meaning what?
Language is very important. Men are not the same. They're different.
Yeah.
And you need to address them differently.
Yeah.
Because there are those, when you address them, will think, this guy removed. So you need to tone the language, talk their language. You see, when I teach first years, I cannot teach them the way I teach masters.
Of course.
So I need to know. You see, this is why it is very, very important when you are talking to men to understand where they are coming from. Let them talk before you talk so that you can understand where they are coming from, so that you can understand their traumas. Because sometimes when we try to talk with men, we talk to them. We don't talk with them. We tell them. And men are by ego. So the moment they feel you are bruising the ego, they become defensive. Talk with them.
What does talking with them mean? It means we're sitting down like this.
Understand them.
I'm calm. I'm obviously not screaming at you. You are sober? Or do we have the conversation over a drink? Like, what's the way to do it?
Different levels will dictate the setting. And you see, the men that are usually neglected are your high-end men. because we think they have everything figured out. When we do any program, we are targeting low-end men. And I'm using these words loosely, not to discriminate or to make anybody feel small or something. I'm using this so that people may understand. We always say we are going to do a program where a lot of men are where taxi rank. We are going to do something for them. We don't even understand them. We don't even understand where they are coming from. And then those who are in offices, we leave them because we think they have things figured out. They don't. So when you talk to them understanding where they all coming from. Make them understand that you are there as a partner, not as an expert to tell them how they should live their lives, because they are experts in their lives. So you cannot be an expert in their lives. So you listen to them, you discuss with them. You know, one day I was hosting
What?
I was hosting Men's Day. Yeah, Movember was hosting men. 35 men were there. And then I was asking them to introduce themselves, how many kids they have. You know, I'm Simamang, I have 2. I'm Simamang, I have 2. I have 1, I have 3. And the one who had more had 4. And then it gets to this guy. And then he was asking, when you say you have 2, what do you mean? They said, no, I have 2 kids. And he said, how? What does that really mean? I said, no, me and my wife have 2 kids. And he says, you don't have others outside? He said, no, how do you have others outside? And he said, okay, if it is like that, I have 4 at home. So because everybody is saying at home, it means I have to leave out those that are outside from home. I have 4 with 4 different women outside the home.
So in actual fact, you have 8.
He has 8. Now he's thinking, can I have conversations with these people? No, these people are not like me. He left. So you need to understand where they are coming from. So when he's saying, I have 4 outside, for those who have never had one outside the home, they're going to judge. Because they don't understand where he's coming from. As a facilitator, how do you make him comfortable so that he can be here to understand how others have been doing things? Maybe he can also improve, but also take care of those who are outside.
Yeah. Because I've also realized that some men are selective about the kids they want to parent. Why?
Yeah, I was sitting in a group of because we are men now, I cannot say boys, but we are boys because we grew up together. And this other guy who is known to be a thought leader in Botswana was talking about having paid his kids.
He paid the kids.
Yeah, he paid them off.
So I've paid you off, and
yeah,
it's
so
cool.
he's not taking care of them because he has paid them off. And I'm saying, I cannot be having conversations with people like that. I cannot sit with you and be comfortable to be your friend when you think you pay damage and you're done. Those are your kids. Those are your children. You need to take care of them until when they are ready to take care of themselves. And the guy said, no, you cannot be bringing work. We are chilled. Or you cannot be bringing work. We are chilled here. And I said, but guys, I can't. That is my value system. I can't. It doesn't work. I cannot be in a environment where we all are fine when someone is not doing right. Who's going to call him to order? We are our brother's keeper. If we are not going to call him to order, who's going to call him to order? No one. So I'm calling him to order. So I know you'll not listen to me, but you've heard me. And I'm not going to go with a conscience saying, Tanyeri, you've not done your work. God gave me a purpose. And that is my purpose. And I said it, whether he's doing it or not, but I've said it.
I also want to know, how do we navigate having a conversation with a child about why their father is not in their life? That's a very sensitive conversation to have, and because now our children are Gen Alpha, they're very smart. They are very observant.
And they ask difficult questions.
They ask you, yes, they're not afraid to ask you, because they're seeing all these things happening at school. They notice that, oh, that other person, their dad drops them at school. That other person, their dad does A, B, C, and D for them. But how come here at home, it's just me and my mom, or it's my mom and my grandma, or my mom and her sister and whatever. It's a different setup altogether. It's a different dynamic. At what point should you be having the conversation with your child, and your boy child, by the way, because I get we're talking about the boy now. What is there an age to be sitting him down and telling him that I was with your father at a certain point, I fell pregnant, and then he just didn't want to be here, without also breaking them? Because there's so much to think about before you can have that. As a woman, I mean, it must be hurtful as well on your part, because it's opening up that wound that you've probably been able to just be like, it's fine, I'll manage, I'm okay. He doesn't care, he doesn't want to be here. And you probably maybe moved on. You have a new partner, a spouse now, but there's still that biological parent, and he's probably still alive. You maybe still see him on social media. You probably still see him around in town or wherever. And this person is just like living their life, but they have abandoned their child, and this child is here asking you these questions, and you have to face this child, and it's his son. How do you have these conversations with your child?
I think the older generation had it easy, because I remember when I asked my grandmother, who is my father, abare done, closed.
Meaning we can't talk about it.
Yeah, it's closed. You can't. You know.
And then you are not persistent to want to investigate and want to know.
You don't do that with grandmothers. In our generation, they tell you, that's bad luck. You don't talk about that. It was closed.
Bad luck.
Yeah,
wow.
Or you don't talk about that. It was closed. Later on, I think I asked again, and my grandmother said, your mother is the only person who knew your father. She's late.
Hey.
Your mother is late, so nobody knows. Then the chapter was closed again. Then later on, when I was older now, I asked my aunt, and my aunt said...
When you say older, how old is older?
I think now I was around 30.
Okay.
I was now asking for the purposes of just knowing.
Yeah.
And then my aunt said, I remember I taught your father, but apparently he's late. And the chapter is closed again.
How did that make you feel?
As a father, I started feeling something after being a father. Because as I was saying off camera, that made me to stay longer without being a father. Because I did not want my child to grow up without me. I was very clear. So my children are supposed to be here. I will tell you, I might not be the perfect father.
Nobody
but
is.
But my kids, when I'm not there, their mother will tell you, Daddy's not here. They sleep early. They show that I'm not there. Because I don't do a lot with them, but just being around them makes them secure. So that is that in a little bit that I wanted to explain. But now, as a woman, the first thing that you need to do you need to have healed. You cannot talk about this issue when you are not healed. Go to therapy. Get healed. When you are healed and have accepted, it's the process of grief. You go through the process of grief where you reach the last point of acceptance. When you have accepted and you are now ready, you can talk. Because if you are not ready, you are going to tell the child something that might make him be angry for the rest of his life. So you need to have healed so that whatever you are going to say, you say it in a way of protecting your child. You are not telling the child lies, but you are telling the child the truth while you are protecting the child. When can you start? At 2 years, the child will have that in the unconscious, will not understand what you are saying. At 5, the child would start hearing you, but not understanding you. At 7, the child will start now understanding what you are saying. At teenagehood, when you now sit and talk about it, it is in the unconscious. When you are saying something, it will go straight and then they remember they've heard this. So the conversation becomes better.
When you say you talk to a 2-year-old, what are you saying to this 2-year-old? How are you saying it?
Make it appropriate for a 2-year-old. Make it appropriate for a 2-year-old. You see, even when the child is adopted, you start from 2 years. You build it in the unconscious.
Or do you say it while they're sleeping? You know, some people,
you talk to them.
They want to whisper in the child's ear.
No, you talk to them. They will not understand what you are saying.
So what do you say?
But it goes into the brain.
What exactly are you saying then?
They're different. So you
Give us an example. Just so at least we have something to think about.
They watch Popeyes with fathers and then you say, do you know what is a father? A father is this. A father is this. You leave it there. You are not saying your father is not there. So you talk about a father and then you leave it there. So now at some point, because it is there, they are seeing something like a father there, they'll ask and then you have a conversation. So you keep on having conversations and don't wait for them to ask. At teenagehood, they might be asking now. That is when now you can start having proper conversations.
And then he'll still go looking for him.
You'll go look for him.
Yeah, because that's what he's probably going to do.
Yes, he's go. You know, I said something that you need to go look for your father because badimo ba gago ba batla o introduce badimo ba gabankitse. Agri has never introduced me to his ancestors. They don't know me. So they cannot come to me. They don't know me. So how do they come to somebody that they don't know? So, but the boy child will always go look for the father. They go look for the father. And not only the boy child, one young person went to the mother to say, I'm looking for my father. And the mother said, do you think in my right mind, I'll not tell you who's your father? She persisted. And then the mother said, I've dealt with this. I'm protecting you. She persisted. And then the mother, after 2-3 weeks, said, are you ready for the truth? She said, yes. You're a product of rape. And I know the person who raped me because he went to jail. And that is the person within the family.
Hey, my heart just...
So sometimes when they refuse, they're trying to protect you. But sometimes you need to give the truth. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's pause here. So what does that mean? What is it like the 30 minutes or is it the 1 hour?
No, it's almost an hour.
Okay, so we're done at this point.
Yeah, so you guys can wrap it up.
Okay, and then maybe say we'll do a part 2.
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a very long topic that has so many dynamics, and I think we can have another time to just try and break other things within the topic.
Yeah, because I also wanted to talk a little bit more even about now when the boy child has grown up, because we're taking it step by step just to learn about this and to truly understand it as women, as the girl child. So I think this is where we're probably going to leave it here, Dr. Jongman. Where can we contact you? Get out after we've now engaged here, and I want to get your contacts. I need your help now. And I'm like, yo, this man, I need him. He's cooking.
Yeah, kana kore mainame a thata. My names are difficult. It's you can call on 76714834. But you are going to talk to my PA and then they will arrange. Or you go to Facebook, it's Kgomotso Jongman, or Joe Speaks. Joe Speaks is JOSPEAKS on Facebook. You'll find us there
Okay.
to have a conversation. So yeah, I'm around town. I've been hanging around in town for quite some time.
Yeah. No, we'll
Actually,
have
for the rest of my life.
Yeah, we'll definitely have a part 2. This is just to at least understand the introductory part of it and the psychology behind the boy child and how we can do better in understanding, navigating, living together in our new society and culture, and everything else that's in between. So if you have any questions, please comment below so that we can engage on a part 2 and a part 3, so that we can keep having these conversations on Life Unscripted. So please leave your comments down below. Let's hear your questions. Let's hear what came to your mind as you were listening, as you were watching us here. And follow us as well on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. It is Life Unscripted with Lezozo. So we're going to leave it right here. Thank you so much for being a part of it. We are going to come back definitely with that part 2 for you. Cheers.